We start the hat making a magic ring. Chain 3, and we have to make in the magic ring 6 bubble stitch of 2 double crochet. We have to make 1 double crochet, we don't finish it, make the next double crochet and finish both double crochet together. Chain 2 and continue with another bubble stitch. We make 1 double crochet and we don't finish it, continue with the next double crochet and we finish with both double crochet together. And repeat the same to have 6 bubble stitch. Chain 2, repeat again 1 bubble stitch, chain 2 again, and continue making bubble stitch to have 6 bubble stitch in the magic ring. Once we have the 6 bubble stitch, we have to close the magic ring, pulling the yarn, make the last chain 2 and make a slip stitch with the first bubble stitch. On the round number 2, we have to make 1 increase around. We start with chain 3, and on the space before the chain 3 we have to make 1 bubble stitch. That will be the first part of the last increase. Chain 2, and on the next space we have to make 1 increase. 1 increase means to make 2 bubble stitch in the same space, so we have to make the first bubble stitch, chain 2, and in the same space another bubble stitch. And on the next space we have to make again an increase. So we have to chain 2, 1 bubble stitch, chain 2 again, and in the same space we have to make another bubble stitch. So we have again 2 bubble stitch on the same space. Chain 2 again and repeat 1 increase on each stitch to the end of the row. 1 increase on each space to the end of the row. On the last space where we made the first bubble stitch, we have to complete the increase making again a bubble stitch. So we have the chain 2, so now we only have to make the bubble stitch, chain 2 again and make a slip stitch with the first bubble stitch. Start the row number 3 with chain 3, and we have to make again the first part of the last increase on the previous space of the chain 3. So we have to make a bubble stitch, chain 2, and in this row we have to make 1 bubble stitch and 1 increase. 1 bubble stitch and 1 increase. So we have to make the first bubble stitch, chain 2, and on the next space we have to make one increase, so one bubble stitch, chain 2, and in the same space again one bubble stitch, chain 2, and repeat the same, one bubble stitch, chain 2, one bubble stitch on the next space, chain 2, and in the same space one bubble stitch to complete the increase. And repeat the same, one bubble stitch and one increase to the end of the row. We have to complete now the last increase, so we have to make the bubble stitch, chain 2, and make a slip stitch with the first bubble stitch. And we finish the row number 3. We start the row number 4 with chain 3 again, and in this row we have to make 2 bubble stitch and 1 increase. We make the first part of the last increase on the previous space of the chain 3, and in this row, remember, we make 2 bubble stitch and 1 increase. We have to make the 2 bubble stitch, remember to separate the bubble stitch with chain 2, and we have to make on the next space again one bubble stitch, chain 2, and one bubble stitch, making the first increase. And we have to repeat the 2 bubble stitch and the increase to the end of the row. And once we finish the last 2 bubble stitch, we have to complete the increase, making again a bubble stitch on the last space, chain 2, and close, making a slip stitch. In this row we made 2 bubble stitch and 1 increase, and on the next row we have to make 3 bubble stitch and 1 increase, so chain 3, make the first part of the last increase on the previous space of the chain 3, chain 2, 3 bubble stitch, remember to separate the bubble stitch with chain 2, and here we have to make the first increase. And repeat the 3 bubble stitch and 1 increase to the end of the row, where we have to make the last part of the increase that we started at the beginning of the row. We have to continue making increases to have 2 or 3 centimeters more than the width of the head. How we have to increase? If we finished with 3 bubble stitch and 1 increase, on the next row we have to continue with 4 bubble stitch and 1 increase, 5 bubble stitch and 1 increase, and 6 bubble stitch and 1 increase, and continue increasing. Remember to have 2 or 3 centimeters more than the width of the head. Now we have to make some rows with no increases. In this case we are going to make 4 rows with no increases. We have to chain 3 and make 1 bubble stitch on the previous space of the chain 3. And then only make one bubble stitch on the next spaces. Remember to make chain 2 between the bubble stitch. So again, one bubble stitch, chain 2, one bubble stitch, and repeat the same to the end of the row. And once we are at the last space before the first bubble stitch, we have to make a slip stitch with the first bubble stitch. Continue the next row with no increases, making chain 3. Again, on the previous space of the chain 3, we have to make a bubble stitch. And continue making chain 2 and bubble stitch to the end of the row. Remember, we don't make increases on these rows. Once we have all the rows without increases, now we have to make some rows with decreases. How to know how many rows with decreases we have to make? To make the increases, we had to make increases to 2 or 3 centimeters more than the width of the head. Now we have to make decreases to arrive at the width of the head. In this case, we are going to make only 2 rows with decreases. We finished the increases making 4 bubble stitch and 1 increase, so we have to start now the decreases making 4 bubble stitch and 1 decrease. So we have to chain 3, and here, instead of making the first bubble stitch on the previous space of the chain 3, we have to make the first bubble stitch on the next space after the chain 3. We have to make the 4 bubble stitch, and now we have to make 1 decrease. We have to make the first double crochet on the next space. We don't finish the double crochet, and on the next space we make the second double crochet, and we finish both double crochet together, making the decrease. Continue making the same 4 bubble stitch, and then make the decrease. One double crochet and we don't finish it. On the next space we make the second double crochet and we finish both double crochet together. And repeat 4 bubble stitch and 1 decrease to the end. And once we made the last 4 bubble stitch, we have to make the last decrease, chain 1 and make a slip stitch with the first bubble stitch. We made the first row with decreases, and remember that you have to continue making decreases to have the width of the head. Now we are going to make again 1 row with decreases. Chain 3, and we start here. If we made before 4 bubble stitch and 1 decrease, now we have to make 3 bubble stitch and 1 decrease. So we have to make the 3 bubble stitch, and now 1 decrease. and we have to repeat the 3 bubble stitch and 1 decrease to the end of the row. And in this case we have to stop now making decreases, but it depends on the width of the head. And now we have to make one row with no decreases, only making 1 bubble stitch on each bubble stitch. Now we have to make an edge of double crochet. We have to chain 3, 1 double crochet on the bubble stitch, and 1 double crochet on the chain 2 space. One double crochet on the bubble stitch, and 1 double crochet on the chain 2 space. 1 double crochet on the bubble stitch and 1 double crochet on the chain 2 space to the end of the row. And once we made all the double crochet, we have to close with a slip stitch. And now we have to make on the double crochet, we have to make 2 rows with the elastic stitch. Remember how to make the elastic stitch. We have to chain 3 and make 1 back post double crochet, again 1 back post double crochet, continue with 1 front post double crochet, again 1 front post double crochet, and repeat 2 back post double crochet and 2 front post double crochet to the end of the row. And we have to continue on the second row with the elastic stitch. We have to chain 3, and where we have a back post double crochet, we have to make back post double crochet, so 2 back post double crochet, and where we find front post double crochet, we have to make front post double crochet, and repeat to the end of the row. And here you can see the elastic stitch and the beret finished. You can decorate it with a star or with a flower, what you prefer.